Good morning, good morning, good morning to you and you and you. Guess what? It's Tuesday and I am Dr. Latasha. I'm here to ignite your morning. I'm super excited about Tuesday. Woohoo! Confetti! Woohoo! The trumpets, the horns, the shofar. Woo! It's blowing just for you. Today is your day. Today is not just any other day. Today is a supernatural day. You got to stretch your faith. You got to believe it, and you must receive it on today. I am Dr. Latasha Culkin, and I'm super excited to be here on this Tuesday. But guess what? About a couple hours ago, I wasn't so excited to be up on this morning. Yeah, I know the scripture that says your anger lasts but for a moment, but your favor is for a lifetime. Weeping may endure for the night, but joy comes in the morning. Yes, I laid down on last night and my sleep and my slumber, and my heart was vexed. My heart was like on a whole different tumultuous type graveyard type dungeon. It was just sadness and gloom and doom. And I got up with it on this morning, and I sat down before the Lord with tears flowing out of my eyes. And I was like, God, I can't do this today. I'm just like, where am I? What am I doing? Nothing makes sense to me. I'm like, make it make sense. Make it make sense, God. Have you ever been in the face of God and you don't know what to pray? You don't know what to do. You just sit there and you're like, okay, God, minister to me. Speak to me. God, give me a word on today. And that's how it was for me on this morning. And I was sitting there with tears in my eyes and just sitting there with my cup of coffee, and I'm like, okay, God. And I was listening to some songs on repeat, worship songs, and I just happened to be down, and I have about 3 or 4 journals that were sitting before me, and these journals have extensive notes, Bible study, my own thoughts, plans, projections, just a lot, what I use my journals for. And so if you ever want to give me a gift, give me a journal. If you ever want to give me a gift, give Dr. Latasha a journal. I love journals. I write. And so I just happened to bend over to pick up one, and I opened it up, and lo and behold, here comes the Lord, and he's speaking to me, and I'm like, oh my God. So I opened up this journal, and that date that I opened it up to was November the 21st, 2024, November the 21st, 2024. I opened up my journal and I just opened it up. I just cracked it open. And when I opened it up, it says bullet 2, commit to the journey. And I'm like, whoo, okay, God, I hear you loud and clear. And so I start reading, but my notes, when I commit to the journey, it's not telling me what am I committing to. So I track on over, and I turn over to another page, and it's talking about Timothy 2:3-6. And at the top of the second page, it reads thusly. It says, the ground is hard, dry clay, work is strenuous, forming keeps on plowing and sowing. I'm going to read that again. The ground is hard, it's dry clay, work is strenuous, farming, F-A-R-M-I-N-G, keeps on plowing and sowing, is going to reap a harvest, must get out in the field. If you're going to reap a harvest, you must get out into the field. A farmer works hard, sticks to the project, and desires to eat the fruit. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh God, you're speaking to me, because in my heart, I wanted to quit today. I know. I just got on here yesterday and I'm talking about don't quit. I'm going, moving, flowing. Just the Holy Spirit moving all through me. And, and then today I'm like, I want to quit. The Lord is like, commit to the journey. And then he sends me to the scripture that talks about work hard, train like an athlete, work hard, endure hardships, and then work like a farmer. And Timothy 2:3-6. And so we are likened to a farmer. We got to commit to the journey. There are going to be days where you don't feel like it, where you want to throw in the towel, where you want to give up. But you have to commit to the journey. You have to have a made up mind. You have to come into agreement and alignment with who God is and what God has for you. And his will must become bigger than your will. You know, what you want in life must be greater than fleshly appetites. It must be greater than feelings. God, this is not based on a feeling. And let me tell you the thing that just really jolted my spirit. So I started looking up work like a farmer, okay? And it says to adopt a mindset and a work ethic characterized by patience, persistence, and a deep connection to the land and its cycles. It involves understanding that success, whether in agriculture or any other field, requires consistent effort, adaptability, a long-term perspective. And so when the Lord was like, the ground is hard, dry clay, work is strenuous, farming keeps on plowing and sowing, plowing and sowing. So I've been in St. Louis for 4 years and I want to leave. I'm just being all the way raw and real. I'm like, God, ain't nothing working out for me here. I'm like, I have, let my net down here, let my net down there. I'm like, where I thought that I was going to be and who I thought that I was going to be and what I thought that I was going to do. I'm like, I've been here for 4 years. At the end of July, it'll be 4 years. And I'm just like, God, I'm like, I haven't been able to break ground yet. And he was like, Latasha, 4 years is nothing. This is a long-term commitment. Baby, the ground in St. Louis is hard. It's hard. Why do you think I sent you to St. Louis? See, I needed to send you to a place where I knew that you had the oil, you got the capacity, you got the wisdom to rock steady. Did you think that I was going to send you to a land that was already plentiful? Did you think that I was going to send you to a land that was already rich and luscious and who really didn't need you? No, I sent you. I calculated your steps to St. Louis, Missouri, so that you can till the soil. The soil is hard. The soil is clay. I mean, it's some hard knocks. And I'm just saying, as it relates to ministry, as it relates to a certain kind of ministry, a certain type of apostolic oil in the land. I'm not saying that St. Louis is a bad place. I love St. Louis. I love Greater St. Louis. I actually love this city. There are some fruit in this city that, like, it's a beautiful, beautiful city, and I love it. But what I'm saying is that for what God is wanting to do in the earth realm, God will send people. The apostolic oil is a scent oil, and so therefore the ground. He was like, "How you gonna give up after 4 years, Latasha?" Farmers don't give up after 4 years. They keep plowing and sowing and plowing and sowing and plowing and sowing. And eventually they will reap a harvest. Eventually they will eat the fruit of the land. So you got to commit to the journey. You can't quit. You can't quit. You can't give up now. And so I'm speaking a word to somebody right now. You upset because you're not seeing your harvest. You're not seeing your fruit. And God says, get back to the plan. God says, keep plowing and reaping, because you must know that where you are right now, that you have to till the ground is hard. You are around people who don't know what they don't know. That's the reason why you are the sent one. That's the reason why God called you that job that you at. You ain't breaking ground yet, because there are spirits, there are strongholds, there are territorial spirits, and you think that you just going to sashay. You think you're going to walk in and hey, I'm Dr. Latasha, and poof, things are going to change. No, there are some things that takes time. You got to keep rocking and tilling and tilling, because oftentimes the seed is so hard. I mean, the soil It's so hard that you gotta till the ground. You gotta till it and till it and till it. I used to live on a farm when I was younger. I used to live on a farm. And so the farm, you gotta use sharp blades. You can't go out there and till the soil with no plastic knife, with no plastic utensils. No, you gotta have the utensils that's gonna cut the soil, that's gonna cut the clay, that's gonna cut the rocks and all of that. Do you not know that after seasons, even when you have been farming, you know that there is a hard season. So winter comes. What happens in winters? It freezes. The ground literally freezes. And so all of that, the shedding, the hibernation, everything is packed in. That is packed And guess what the farmer got to do? Farmer has to have the right agricultural tools, has to have the right plan to be able in the sharp blades. Have you ever seen those blades? The plows that they use is sharp, and they got to keep grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. And I'm teaching already. I'm preaching already. You got to keep grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding. That a farmer's work is never done. They work sun up to sundown. They give it all that they got. And so you got to have a long-term perspective. This farming, when you think as a farmer, you got to stop thinking about instantaneous growth. You got to stop. You can't always think about suddenly it's going to come suddenly. Suddenly works in its time. But when you are a farmer, you got to adjust your perspective. Are you in it for the long haul? Because if you're not in it for the long haul, then you're going to bounce from this place to that place to this place, this city to this city. Let your roots sink in deep. Grow, bloom where you are planted, baby. Beloved, my brother and my sister, you got too much traction. See, the fruit, you don't have a harvest because you only there for 2 years at a time. You cannot plant a vineyard. You cannot plant an orchard, and you gotta work with it. You gotta stick. You gotta stick to it. And so you gotta think long term. Farmers don't expect instant results. They cultivate a vision for the future and invest in sustained growth. I want sustained growth. And so the Lord told me this morning, he said, Latasha, you're the one talking about leaving a legacy. You're the one talking about you want sustained growth. You're the one that's talking about, so I am lining, you're lining because I want this for you. And so it's not going to come overnight. And I'm like, Lord, I'm almost 50 years old. I'm like, I need to see some fruit. And the Lord is like, yeah, I need for you to go back and think about on the fruit that you've already been able to birth, the fruit that you've already been able, because you're still eating off of that, but stick to the plan, long-term commitment. But you cultivate a vision for the future. I'm cultivating a vision for the future. I'm investing my life. This is a product. This is my life. Ministry is my life. I don't have a plan B, okay? This is a plan A, and so I'm committed to the plan. However God want to rock it, however you want to shake it, whatever trajectory, whatever plan that he has for me, but I have to change my focus to long-term. Growing my son was my seed, cultivating his field. I talked to him on yesterday. He's 22 years old. And when I tell you that I'm eating the fruit of the labor, but when I was growing him, it was hard. It was hard growing him. It was hard tilling that soil. It was hard watering him and pouring into him and equipping him. Lord Jesus. I'm like, if this dude don't hurry up and grow up, and I'm like, I want to live, but I'm eating the fruit of my labor. It took 18, but I started seeing the fruit. It didn't take me long. But now that he is a grown man, I'm seeing the fruit. I was on the phone with my son for like almost 2 hours yesterday, and we kicking it. We going back and forth like two adults, like two adults. I mean, like, mom, and I'm saying this, and he like, mom, and I'm like, little homie, and he like, you feel me? Word, this and that, and bro, and we going bro and back and forth and bro and all this stuff. I'm trying to keep up with the lingo, but you gotta stick to the plan. You giving up too soon. The next one is that you gotta be consistent and persistent. You got to show up every single day. Even if you don't like it, show up your best. Bring your best self forward. I don't care if you got two roaches in a mouse that you showing up to. You better show up as your best self. You cannot wait until your name is called. You cannot wait until you have arrived to show up. No, baby, see what you doing on the backside of the mountain, what you doing in front of the roaches, in front of the mice, and in the four walls. If you only got 2 people, 5 people, even if you, whatever it is, the job that you got, you better step up in that place like you the CEO. But you surrender, but you have the spirit of humility. You know what I mean? But you show up the way that you're going to show up. I know that I do. And I won't stop, and I won't stop until I get it. Yes. I can tell y'all some stories about that in the name. Let me just say this. When you show up, your essence of who you are is always going to show up. There are places that I show up to, and this is honest to God truth, and I'm not trying to brag. People automatic, are you the CEO? You must be the executive director. You must be such and such. No. I'm just Latasha. Stop playing with me. Can I see your card? Because who you are, you got to keep showing up every day, every single day. And don't give up easily. Farmers face challenges like weather fluctuations and pests. They adapt, they learn from mistakes, and persevere, knowing that setbacks are a part of the process. I had a minor setback, probably a couple weeks ago, a minor setback, but it's actually a setup. And I'm thinking like, you know what, girl, you can't stop. You can't quit because you got to expect when you committed to the journey, you have to expect that things are going to happen booby traps. People are not going to show up. People are going to hurt you. People are people. People are fickle, but you got to look past that. You got to keep on pressing, baby. You can't let that stop you because it's the greater good. One monkey don't stop no show, okay? I need a shirt that say one monkey don't stop no show. You're not going to stop. They're not going to stop you, beloved. You got to keep going because the greater one lives on the inside of you and you want to reap the harvest. You want to eat the fruit of your labor. Okay, so the next one is that you got to nurture your work. Just as farmers feed and care for their crops, you need to nurture your work, providing it with the resources and attention it needs to flourish. That's the reason why you got to be a committee of one. You cannot wait on nobody to train you and teach you. You got to be a self-starter. You have to be hungry and thirsty for, okay, so if I go to you and you say that you won't give me the plan, if I go to you, you won't teach me. Don't worry about it. I love you because I'm all the way over here. I'm in Asia. I'm in Europe. I'm taking online courses. Okay. I'm tapping into Abuja. I'm tapping into Africa. I'm tapping in and I'm eating and I'm eating and I'm eating and I'm flying and I'm getting on this train. I'm getting on this airplane and I'm going. But when I come back, don't be mad at me. But when I come back, because when you refuse to give me what I know that I'm supposed to get from you and you refuse, don't worry about it because I'm not going to let you stop me. I'm not going to let you block me. I'm still going to respect you. I'm still going to have humility and I'm still going to be, very pleasant. But you know what? I'm not going to stop. How do you think that I am who I am? How do you think that I am who I am? It wasn't because I sat and I just ate where I was at. No, babe. Because see, I know I've seen the trajectory. I know what God has for me. And I've already been to some of those places, but even the more. So you have to nourish your work. You got to do your own training. I got books. I got teachings. I have flown. I have spent big money sitting in conferences, sitting under people. That's the reason why I am who I am, because I've been in the presence of greatness. Yeah, I've only resided. Yeah, I know I've only lived in Paducah, Kentucky for 16 years, and I lived in St. Louis for 4 years. I'm counting this as an adult, where I have grown most of my life, where I have I've been all over the United States. I just been all over to eat and to nourish. Do you not know that if I only stayed where I was at? No. So you got to nourish. You got to know what works for you. And you got to be able to think. And you got to be able to maneuver. And you got to be able to pivot, because you still, so God is saying you can't leave St. Louis, Latasha. But you know what? But I can still fly out. I can fly out to Africa. I can fly to Asia. I can fly to Europe. Okay, I can fly to Brazil, but I'm getting what I need to nourish to come back to St. Louis so that I can do what I can do, baby. And I know that I'm speaking a word to somebody right now. You got to be adaptable and resilient, adjusting to changing conditions. Farmers must be flexible and ready to adapt when things don't go as planned. 2 weeks ago, things didn't go as planned. So I'm just like, oh, Lord, have mercy. What am I going to do? 2 weeks ago, I had been working. I had been collaborating with someone. I had been working with them. I had a timeline. I had been working with them. And then all of a sudden, they just flaked out on me. They literally flaked out on me. I mean, I was collaborating with someone behind the scenes, and I was preparing some things. And just out of the blue, like they flaked out. They literally flaked out. They stopped answering my phone calls. They started ignoring me. All the ideas, everything they're putting in paper, whatever. I'm thinking that, okay, we getting ready to launch forward. But they launched without me. They launched without me. All the stuff that I had planned, that we were talking, giving, I received no credit for it. No credit for it at all. My name was not mentioned at all. And I'm thinking and I had to sit through that. So can you imagine the shock? Can you imagine the horror? Can you imagine the hurt and the pain? Can you imagine? I've been collaborating this time with you behind the scenes. And then when I was collaborating with you up front, and you give me no credit? So they didn't go as planned. And that was my ticket. When I realized that, okay, this didn't go as planned, baby girl, what you getting ready to do? What you getting ready to do now? because sometimes things won't go as planned, but God is still depending upon you to still be Christ-like. He's still depending upon you, because one of the things, I'm not going to lie, when that didn't go as planned and I was totally caught off guard and I was bamboozled and hoodwinked, I'm for real. I've never been treated that way before, not on that type of platform in my life. So I had to go and I had to readjust because I am a farmer and it didn't go as planned. And then I had to start thinking like, girl, you know what? Just cast your net on the other side. Cast your net on the other side. I'm still a farmer. I'm a fisherman. Whatever you want to call it, agriculture. It's still agriculture. Cast your net on the other side. Give that to them. Let them have that. If they want to steal that from you, if they don't want to give you the credit for what you did, you know what? Wish them well, because it didn't work as planned. And so you say your farewells, you say your goodbye, and you sashay on. With my beautiful self, I'm sashaying on. Going to the next spot. It don't work as planned. This could mean adjusting planning schedules, trying new techniques, or even pivoting to a different crop. Hey, that's what I had to do. I had to pivot suddenly. I'm thinking like, wait a minute. Bamboozle, hoodwink. It didn't go as planned, but I pivot. I had to pivot. I got some things in the work. I had to pivot. Learn from mistakes. Farmers learn from their experiences, both successes and failures, and use that knowledge to improve their practices. You got to learn from your mistakes, but you can't quit. You got to get back to the table. Okay, you take off for a week, you take off for 2 weeks, but you got to get back to your grind, because God is not going to let you quit. You're talking about being lifelong committed. You got to commit to the journey, because when you're rocking with God, God is going to show you, He's going to reroute you. You're not going to die. You're not going to fail. You're not going to quit, because God is with you. And then the other things that value the process and the harvest, appreciate the journey. Whoa. Do you not know I appreciate the journey? I cherish the journey. Sometimes when I'm here and I'm sitting up in my room with my cup of coffee on a weekend, I spend about an hour and I'm just flashback, rehashing, about the journey, the turns, the twists, the mountain, the valley experiences. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, whoa, I've been on an adventure. So farmers understand that the process of planting, nurturing, and tending crops is just as important as the final harvest. You can't be so fixated on the final harvest. I got to get there. Do you know the bodies that you will leave injured on the way? All the people that you have ignored, all the people that you've stepped on, all the relationships that you squandered, that you didn't give time. I just got to stick to the plan. I got to get to the final product. No, it's about the journey, the relationships that you meet on the way, the people that you meet on the way, the lessons learned on the way, how you grew on the way. Okay. You're not just growing crops. You're growing yourself. You're not just nurturing the crops. You're nurturing yourself. The pride in your work. A farmer takes pride in their work and the quality of their produce. Similarly, strive to do your best work and take satisfaction in the results. You got to stay focused. You got to remove negative influences. Let me hit on this and I'm going to get off. Just as farmers remove weeds to protect their crops, you should eliminate distractions and negative influences that hinder your progress. I just mentioned that I was bamboozled and hoodwinked, and I told you that it didn't go as planned. So that was negative. That was toxic for me. So I had to pluck up the weeds. Okay. You got to eliminate distraction. You got to eliminate toxic relationships. You got to see it for what it is. You don't get angry. You don't stay there. You can get angry, but don't stay there. Give it to God, because what God has for you is for you. Okay. And don't try to get revenge. And so the other thing that I want to say is that the day will come when things will turn around for you. The day is going to come. The day is going to come. Keep planting and planting and planting and plowing and plowing and plowing and sowing and sowing and sowing. It's building resilience on the inside of you. It's building a fight back on the inside of you. Farmers, when you are a farmer, you're expecting to eat the fruit of your labor. You're expecting to eat the fruit of your labor. Hard work. You got to commit to the journey. You got to show up every single day. Okay. I love you guys so much on today. You got to put a smile on your face. Yeah, you gotta put a praise in your hands. You gotta put a stomping in your feet. You gotta put a smile on your face. Yeah, I'm putting a smile on my face. A smile, because you don't know who you're going to run into along the way. You don't know who you're going to run into when you walk out that door, and you may run into destiny. You may run into your harvest. This may be the day that you reap your harvest. And then how sorrowful would you be if you showed up angry and disgusted, if you showed up not your best self? Today, you present your best self, no matter what has happened to you, no matter what they said to you, no matter how they lied on you, no matter how they tried to stop you, and no matter how it did not go as planned. God always has a ram in the bush. God is greater. God is the orchestrator. Do you not know that God put you on this road? He put you on this plan. He plowed your field. And in my last note, in order to be a farmer and to reap your harvest and to eat of your first fruits, you got to get in the field. Get back in the field. You got to get back in the field, okay? I love you guys. I'm Dr. Latasha, and I'm signing off. I pray that you guys will share this, give me some hearts, and give me some love. And I'm just believing that God is going to make this day incredible for you. You have not because you ask not. Start asking God. Start asking. And I pray that you will work like a farmer and that you will endure. Keep planting and sowing, and your harvest is on the way, and commit to the journey. I'm Dr. Latasha. Bye. Slow connection.